The United States has made its largest deployment of strategic bombers to the UK in more than a decade. The B-52 strategic bombers, which are capable of carrying nuclear weapons, are to take part in NATO drills in Georgia. Georgia, of course, very close to Russia's southern border. They touched down just days after the Pentagon spoke on the possibility of a nuclear strike against Russia. Caleb Mopin reports.
No limits on American military power, even when it comes to nukes. That seems to be the prevailing sentiment among certain forces. Earlier this year, 2 U.S. senators put forward a new law to prohibit the first strike use of nuclear weapons by the United States. They made it pretty simple. The entire text of the law was one sentence. It is the policy of the United States not to use nuclear weapons first. Now, that's also the policy of the Russian president, but top U.S. military brass say that it's unacceptable.
I wouldn't recommend any change to simplify an adversary's decision-making calculus. I also can envision several circumstances where we would not want to remove that option from the president.
There are some circumstances, apparently, where nuking somebody who hasn't already nuked you first might be a good idea. We decided to talk to New Yorkers and see what circumstances they think it might be.
Can you think of any situation where we would nuke somebody who hadn't nuked us first?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't do it. I don't think that's right. I don't know what the circumstances would be.
I mean, like Syria. I mean, that makes sense to me. They didn't nuke us, but like with Syria, what was going on? Hopefully it lands over there and not here.
So in some circumstances, nuking somebody first might be a valid decision. But what exactly constitutes aggression? Take it from the acting Secretary of Defense.
Our competitors have not been complacent. China's defense spending, China's organized approach to steal foreign technology. Russia, for its part, continues to compete asymmetrically with the United States.
Now, he made that statement while explaining why the U.S. military budget, despite being higher than every other country in the world by billions of dollars, was actually going up. So Russia is doing it, and we have to keep up. But let's look at what Russia is actually doing. Total combined military budget for NATO countries in the year of 2019 is roughly 1,395 billion euros. Meanwhile, Russia is spending 39 billion euros. So how exactly is the USA catching up?
China and Russia in particular, the capabilities developed over the last few years to limit our ability to operate freely in space, cyberspace, land, sea, and air. And the capabilities that we have identified in this year's budget are really designed to allow us to project power when and where necessary to advance our interests in the context of that emerging threat for China and Russia.
So at this point, U.S. military policy has 2 major premises. Number 1, first strikes with nuclear weapons are A-OK. And number 2, Russia and China, 2 major nuclear powers, are bad and must be opposed. Can anyone think of a greater recipe for disaster? Caleb Mopin, RT, New York.